And what if I told you that your next action could completely define who you are? Just imagine a person who seems to have it all: money, status, power, being utterly crushed by a single moment of arrogance. It's not about cancellation. It's not about revenge. It's about a reality check that will make you rethink every inch of your existence. Have you ever wondered how many times your tongue has destroyed opportunities that could transform your life? In this explosive story, you will discover how a single comment can collapse years of social construction, and how true strength lies not in your bank balance, but in your ability to treat every human being with dignity. Get ready for a narrative that will make you tremble, reflect, and most importantly, change. Because what you are about to discover is not just a story, it's a manifesto about who you choose to be in the world. Want to know more? Stay with me until the end. The atmosphere of Thompson's exuded sophistication, with its burgundy walls and crystal chandeliers gently dancing above the white marble tables. Sarah Miller, a 22-year-old with determined eyes and a shy smile, moved gracefully between the tables, carrying trays that seemed to weigh tons of responsibility and academic dreams. The social hierarchy there was as clear as the glass of the expensive cups. Jennifer Anderson represented the pinnacle of the pyramid, with her Chanel blazer and Rolex watch that screamed power and disdain. Her eyes scanned the restaurant as if every inch needed her approval, her posture radiating an almost palpable prejudice against workers like Sarah. The moment of humiliation was about to happen, and the air in Thompson's grew denser than the reduction. Sauce served that night. Jennifer, with a dismissive wave of her hand, called Sarah over and began to criticize every detail of the service, her cutting voice carrying words that hurt more than any chef's knife. Injustice danced in the air, waiting for the right moment to be confronted. Michael Thompson was the kind of man who spoke much more with his eyes than with words. Sitting strategically in the corner of the restaurant, his impeccable gray suit seemed like an invisible armor of leadership and ethics, his blue eyes tracking Jennifer's every move like a hawk watching its prey. The silent compassion radiating from his posture indicated that something grand was about to happen. The restaurant was his legacy, built not only with bricks and sophisticated recipes, but with values of respect and dignity. Every detail of the environment seemed an extension of his personality. The waiters moved with professionalism, the tables were set with almost military precision, and the atmosphere breathed a social transformation that went far beyond serving expensive dishes. Sarah, his niece, represented more than just an employee. She was a symbol of overcoming, a young worker fighting to build her academic future with sweat and determination. Michael watched her with a mix of pride and protection, knowing that this moment would be a lesson in humanity that would transcend the limits of those restaurant walls. Now, the moment of intervention arrived like a whisper that quickly transformed into a thunder of social justice. Michael stood up with calculated elegance, his measured steps echoing a power that went far beyond material wealth. His voice, when he finally spoke the first words, was like a surgical scalpel, precise, cutting, yet surprisingly compassionate, ready to dissect Jennifer's inhumane behavior. Michael's technique was brilliant. He did not attack, did not humiliate, but exposed. Each word was a masterful lesson on dignity, turning that moment of confrontation into a masterclass of integrity. The other customers, previously just silent spectators, were now completely captivated by the way he handled the situation, demonstrating a leadership that went far beyond simply being the owner of the establishment. The restaurant had become a stage where the true hierarchy was not defined by money, but by character. Michael transformed that embarrassing moment into an opportunity for growth, not just for Jennifer, but for everyone present. His intervention was surgical, precise, charged with an energy that combined firmness with an incredible dose of hope and the possibility of change. Michael's revelation fell like a bomb of truth in the silent hall of Thompson's. He not only defended Sarah, but presented her as part of his own family, elevating her importance beyond that of a mere employee. Each word was filled with genuine pride that overflowed with respect and appreciation, transforming that moment of potential humiliation into a tribute to the courage and dedication of his niece. Oh, Sarah, with her cheeks slightly flushed, represented much more than a waitress. She was the living symbol of overcoming, a young worker balancing studies and work with an almost superhuman grace. Michael described her not as a victim, but as a modern heroine, whose determination to achieve her academic goals deserved not only respect, but the total admiration of those who judged her hastily. The restaurant's atmosphere seemed to freeze in time, each customer absorbing the lesson of humanity that Michael was imparting. His defense went beyond familial protection. It was a public statement about inclusion, opportunities, and the true meaning of dignity at work. The way he spoke transformed that embarrassing moment into a masterclass of professional ethics and human respect. Michael's decision to donate the value of the bill was not just a financial gesture, but a revolutionary declaration of solidarity. Every cent represented more than money. It was a direct investment in social transformation, a concrete support for young women fighting to build their dreams amid seemingly insurmountable challenges. The choice of donation was a practical example of how power can be used to promote real and meaningful change. The champagne, once a symbol of luxury and ostentation, was now transformed into fuel for hope. The organization that would receive the donation was not just a passive recipient, but an active partner in building opportunities. Michael demonstrated that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the ability to uplift others, to create bridges where there were once only walls of prejudice and inequality. A seat to see, or each sip of that champagne would now symbolize a chance for education, growth, and overcoming for young women who, like Sarah, fight daily against systems that try to limit them. Michael's action transcended the specific moment in the restaurant, becoming a silent manifesto against social injustice, a cry of hope that would echo far beyond the elegant walls of Thompson's. The silence that followed was more eloquent than any word. Jennifer, once so secure in her social position, now seemed to shrink under the gazes of the other customers. Her Chanel blazer, once a symbol of power, now seemed just an empty fabric, devoid of the arrogance that characterized her. The transformation was almost theatrical, from social predator to a completely disarmed figure, without a single argument to defend her disrespectful conduct. Every millimeter of her body screamed embarrassment, her once proud eyes now fixed on the ground as if searching for a magical escape, a possibility to flee from that brutal exposure of her true nature. The hierarchy she so valued had been completely deconstructed by Michael, who with surgical elegance revealed the fragility of her character before all present. Thompson's restaurant had transformed into an invisible court where the only sentence was the truth. Jennifer experienced the deepest of judgments, not through words, but by the deafening silence of her own shame. Her arrogance, once so inflated, now escaped like a deflated balloon, leaving only the emptiness of someone who does not understand the true meaning of respect and humanity. The lesson transcended the walls of that restaurant, becoming a living manifesto about the true essence of being human. Michael demonstrated that dignity cannot be bought with expensive credit cards or designer clothes, but is earned through actions that respect the humanity of each individual. Every gesture of his was a masterclass on ethics, showing that real power does not lie in the ability to humiliate, but in the ability to uplift others. Sarah represented much more than a simple waitress. She was the symbol of a generation that no longer accepts being invisible. Her determination to study, work, and dream challenged all social stereotypes, proving that true transformation happens when we break the invisible chains of prejudice. The young woman became, at that moment, a living example of courage and resilience. Thompson's restaurant had transformed into a stage where social justice was enacted with the purest elegance. Every customer present witnessed not just a confrontation, but a silent revolution of values. The message was clear: respect has no price, kindness knows no social class, and true leadership manifests when we defend those who are most vulnerable. Michael and Sarah's journey represented much more than a simple restaurant episode. It was a living manifesto about the social transformation that occurs when we break paradigms of power and prejudice. Every movement, every word, every gesture demonstrated that true wealth is not measured by assets, but by the ability to promote hope and dignity in those around us. Authentic leadership reveals itself not in moments of comfort, but in opportunities to defend the most vulnerable. The impact of that story transcended the limits of Thompson's, becoming a powerful metaphor for how small actions can trigger great changes. Sarah, with her youth and determination, symbolized thousands of young people who fight daily against systems that try to limit them, proving that education, hard work, and integrity are the true keys to personal and social transformation. Her journey inspired not only through resilience, but through the ability to maintain dignity even in the face of the greatest challenges. Michael Thompson embodied the leader who understands that his power goes far beyond managing a restaurant. He was an architect of opportunities, a builder of bridges between different social realities. His intervention was not just an act of familial protection, but a revolutionary gesture of justice and compassion. Every word, every gesture of his demonstrated that true success is not measured by the ability to accumulate wealth, but by the ability to uplift others, to create spaces where dignity and respect are the fundamental principles. And then we arrive at the moment of truth. But what about you? Are you ready to transform your life? And reflect with me. How many times have you let prejudice and arrogance control your actions? How many growth opportunities have you lost by not seeing the human being behind a role? This story is not just a narrative. It is a personal challenge. An invitation for you to rewrite your own narrative, break paradigms, and become a better person every day. Want to continue this journey of transformation? Subscribe now to our channel. Click the subscribe button, activate notifications, and get ready for content that will revolutionize your mindset. Each video, each story we share is a chance for you to reinvent yourself. Don't miss this opportunity. Joe. See you in the next video, and remember, change begins within you. Subscribe now, activate notifications, transform your life.